everyone. Welcome to Black Link Magazine. I am the CEO and founder, and I am your host, Invalette Sunshine. I'm so excited to be with you guys again. If you guys would help me to welcome Bottz. We're going to allow him to introduce himself to the world.
I am D. Bottz from Houston, Texas, hailing from Houston's North Side, owner of Bottz World Studios, producer, engineer, podcaster, and so much more. That's me.
Well, welcome to Black Link Magazine. So let's get right into the interview on this good Saturday morning, afternoon, wherever you are. So Bottz, tell us a little bit. So first of all, you wear a lot of different hats. And when I was doing my research on you, I saw that you started at a young age and then you went and worked for a music store, right? And that's
right.
Is that how you really got into the music? Tell us about growing up and what it was and how you knew that it was music for you.
Well, I was born into a musical family, a testimony that a lot of people have in the music business. My dad was a very successful quartet singer. My grandfather was a quartet singer. Both of my grandmothers played the piano. So I started playing drums at the age of 5. My dad, I'll never forget, they had a drummer for his group one time at rehearsal and the drummer couldn't make it. And so I got on the drums and like everybody was blown away at this 5-year-old kid on drums, and I'm able to keep up with everybody. So I played drums for the next, I'd say 15 years. And once I got to like 18, 19, I kind of started liking the keyboard / piano. And then I got hired at Guitar Center. And when I got hired at Guitar Center, that's what changed my life.
Wow, that's amazing. 5 years old is young, but you didn't sound like you didn't have a choice but to be in the music world.
It's in my genes.
In your genes. Couldn't do anything else. So I want to talk about the entertainment world. So first of all, you have a studio, a thriving studio in Houston. Talk about that.
Bottz World Studios on the northwest side of Houston. We've been open 7.5 years. We have 2 recording rooms. We have 1 live room. We have a lounge. We have a men and women's bathroom. We have a kitchenette. We've produced about, in the last 7.5 years, I want to say about 10 million records out of here. And with artists such as Maya, Fantasia, LaToya Luckett, Slim Thug, God, who else has come through here? It's a lot. Beat King, Killer Calion.
All right, some big names to come through there. So tell us about it, those that don't know about the studio world. We know about the entertainment world a little bit, about the studio world. So what happens there? People call your people or call you and say, hey, I'm going to come through. I want to produce this record. How does that work?
Well, for the general public, a lot of people just want to record professionally because they can't get the sound they're looking for at home. So we have, of course, a studio line. They'll hit the studio line and, go through the prompts and book like that. Now, for me personally, I have an assistant that people go through. Okay. So when labels are looking for a certain type of record or they want to send their artists down here, because a lot of people come to Houston actually to work with me because I'm one of the producers who can create from scratch.
Right.
So just say you came in with 3 songs in your head and you needed someone to make them make musical sense. That's where I come in. So book studio, you go through that. Booking me, you go through my assistant.
So tell me, I want to get to another point. A lot of people in the entertainment business, a lot of what we hear on this side of the entertainment world is that, it can be really grimy. It can be really, touchy. Tell us, is that any experience or can you elaborate on those thoughts about, what's happening in the background and what do they mean about it can be really grimy? Is it contracts? Is it, what does that look like?
Well, one of the jokes I tell on my podcast is I was in the streets at an early age and I dabbled in the drug game and I tell them nothing compares to the music game compared to the drug game. I say, at least in the drug game, you know who your enemies are. Yeah. Like when it comes to this music stuff, I've seen bad country, man. And the sad part is you see the stories of TLC. You see the stories of like some of the groups that Diddy had that got bad contracts. And here we are in 2021 and people still doing it because I had an artist that I'm working with just last month show me a contract where the guy was trying to take 70% of what she did. Merch, digital sales, all this. And I just looked at it, I was like, did you even read this contract? And she didn't sign, of course. She brought it to me because she was like, hey, I want you, you to look at this. And I just looked at her. I was like, dang, that's cold, because she's dope. And I'm like, if you wouldn't have had nobody like me on your side to read, most new artists are, oh, it's a contract from a record label. Yes, I'm a sign. And then you're getting 30%, and they were going to give you $1,000 signing bonus.
That's it.
Crazy. I've never seen a deal like that, but it's really grimy because you have people who don't do good business, which is one thing I pride myself on. I pride myself on being in this industry 21 years. I have not one client, and I pride myself on saying this, that has anything bad to say about me. Yeah. I mean, I've given refunds, I've given free beats, I've given free mixes just to keep my name and my relationship good in the music business. And I think a lot of people don't have that standard. It's a sad day when, you have people who are in positions of power in the music business who wake up thinking, how can I mess over this person today?
Gosh, that's sad. And for the most part, it's a lot of people that want to make it in the industry.
It's growing every day. Every day.
And it's so sad, because if you don't educate yourself about the business and know the business side of it, because I think it's more business than having than entertainment and having that fun, that people just see the fun in it and they see the perks and they see the bling. But what about the business side? And I think a lot of times is the contract. They don't understand the contract. Like you said, it's like, I got a contract, but do you even understand the language of the contract?
Right. And I do have a few mentors, or mentees, I should say, that, I got under my wing, a couple of artists, a couple of producers who run into these crazy contracts. And man, it's just crazy the amount of people that do dirty business. And the sad thing is they know they're doing dirty business. It's not like they don't know what they're doing. Right. And, they're trying to find, I hate to say it, I call them a sucker.
Yeah.
They're trying to find somebody who's maybe green enough or naive enough to just be like, yeah, I'll sign that. You know what I mean? And so, it's a great game. And it's 95% business, 5% talent at this point. So that's sad.
I believe it. And it's a good thing to have these kind of interviews to get the word out, to help people understand. It ain't just about, oh, he called me, he gonna put me on, Right. I tell my son that all the time. You gotta know the business, or know someone that you can trust to know the business and really tell you, because you can get people around you in your camp that is not for the right thing for you either.
Right.
Yeah. So you talk about the podcast, and you wear all these different hats. What is the podcast about? I know I saw you on an interview. You had an interview maybe the other day. But what is your podcast about? What is that talking about? Still the music?
Well, outside the Bottz podcast on the Patreon app, we are currently sitting at number 3 with subscriber engagement. On my podcast, I talk about everything that pertains to life, music, food, sports. You never know what I'm going to do a podcast about. And I think that's why a lot of people like it, because I can talk on a lot of subjects, and I'm not an expert on none of them, but I can talk on them and give my point of view, give my kind of comedy edge to it. Yeah. So, I mean, I've had interviews, I interview people kind of like you're doing, I've had my girl Maya on there. I've had Raheem Devine. I've had Dre from the Shy, who people don't know is really a rapper named Robin Hood. I've had comedian Earthquake, Carl Payne from Martin. So it's an entertainment podcast, but sometimes I do Motivation Monday. My style is unorthodox, because people laugh because I curse at them. Yeah. And I'm somebody to, y'all want somebody to give y'all a bottle. I'm not gonna give you a bottle and you're grown. Why am I babying you? No, I'm gonna talk to you like a grown, and so. Yeah. But
check it out.
It's crazy because it was birthed out of the pandemic.
Wow.
I had, when the pandemic first came, everybody in the world panicked. So like I closed my studio for 4 months. Like it was shut down. And fortunate enough, we were blessed to be able to pay bills and all that. We didn't stress one bit. But I was sitting at home. I was still able to do like mixing and stuff for artists, but I couldn't produce because I don't have anything to produce with at home on purpose. Yeah. And so my PR chick, shout out to Sharontel Durscale out of New Jersey. She was like, Bottz, you need to start a podcast. And I was like, don't nobody want to hear me talk. And then she's like, Bottz, in your Facebook and your Instagram, every time you do something silly, like you get thousands of views. She's like, do it. So I did my research, something people don't like to do. They don't like research and they just want everything given to them. So I did my research on what podcast app to get and this and that. And so I came back to, I was like, yo, I'm gonna use Podbean. And she was like, no, you need to do Patreon. She's like, that is an avenue. You can make money and you can grow your network and yeah. So I did it. And the crazy part is the first day I announced it on Facebook and Instagram, I had 77 people subscribe.
Ooh, that's a big deal.
Yeah, because on Patreon, I did their research. I did a search for the average growth of a new podcast. And there's like, unless you're like a celebrity, you're only going to grow 5 to 8 people a month. That's the average. And my first day, I had 77.
That's crazy.
It's funny. We're talking. I just had a Patreon notification. Somebody just joined as we're talking. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, after the first month, I had a few hundred. So it's just, and the thing about me, I've encouraged some people. My biggest podcast to date was one I did called Mentally Challenged. And what I talked about on there, I had just had a friend committed suicide, and it was one of my serious moments. And people just was like, man, I go to counseling and I go to church, therapy, and like, you helped me in 15 minutes.
Wow.
And so, I just talked about being mentally strong, like even the pandemic, life, if you're a mentally weak person, life will eat you up and stuff like that. I can't give you, you gotta go subscribe.
I'm gonna do it. Y'all gotta go subscribe. We're gonna tell you how at the end of this interview.
I have 5 sponsors.
Wow.
So it's crazy. It's growing. Yeah, I just had a new sponsor, but Angel and the Mermaid and the Lion podcast. So they just so shout out to them. Yeah, it's growing. It's growing.
You got it going on. But you know what? It goes back to what you said. You try to make sure that you're doing the right things, right, by people. You're treating people right. You're giving them the right deal. You're not waking up saying, who can I get today? Because they go get this bag and get it the wrong way. And I think that when we humble ourselves and we do the right thing, even when no one is watching, we get rewarded for that. Right. And so good kudos to you. I'm glad for that, because I hear some scary stories. I'm like, dang, I used to think maybe something in entertainment business is for me, but maybe it's not, because I'm not that person.
Needs people like you. We definitely, in this time, we need people who are going to do people right. I mean, because I tell a lot of these artists, y'all come to me after the no Vaseline treatment, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. After it's done, said and done.
Yeah. So I have single-handedly restored hundreds of artists' faith in producers and faith in studios, because you go to some of these studios and they don't give you music. You go to some of these producers and they don't do the song that you want, and they won't give you the beat. It's so, man, these stories I hear, and I'm just like, who are y'all doing business with? Like, seriously?
Yeah, that's even in the film business, in the movie business, in the acting. I had an interview with a director, and she was like, and this is what she said. She said, it's a shame that I want to help people, but I can't, because I don't know who to trust. She said, it's a shame, and it's our own people that we have to vent and say, do we help this person or not? And then you don't know who to help or not.
Right.
It's sad. We should be pulling each other up.
Right.
So I want to talk about, let's spin this thing a little bit about Clubhouse, if we can.
Okay.
I love that the room that I go to with Auntie Jackie in it, and you and all the amazing people, and I've got some really good connections. Tell me, how did that come about? Tell me a little bit about Clubhouse, because people are asking about Clubhouse now. I think that's the thing. So can you kind of tell the audience a little bit about that?
Oh man, Clubhouse has been a blessing. I got an invite to Clubhouse last summer, and just the name alone, I was like, man, I'm not finna go. It sounds like something kids do, Clubhouse. Yeah. And so I literally turned, and if the story is funny, I turned it down like in August because somebody invited me in. Mm-hmm. And then one of my business partners was at the studio one day in this room, and he was working, and I was in the other room. And I keep hearing this talking. And I say, man, what is it? Who? I was like, you on a 3-way call or something? He said, man, it's Clubhouse. He said, Bottz, you need to get on Clubhouse. I say, ain't that for kids? And he was like, no. He's like, man, a person like you, Clubhouse needs you. He's like, just do it. So he invited me. They don't do these anymore, but I had a welcome party where couple people told me how it works and, all that. So I didn't, even after he invited me, like the first week, I still really wasn't on it. I was just busy.
Yeah.
And it was the first week of November. I literally said, because I heard him on it again. He was like, yo, just come in this room I'm in right now. So I go in the room. And the funny thing is, when I first got on there, I typed in my name, my government name, because I thought that's how you do the account. So my name on there was Davion.
Right.
Nobody in the business knows me by Davion.
Right.
I would go in these rooms and start talking, and then I'd hear, wait, is that Bottz? And I'd be like, yeah, this Bottz. Man, who is Davion? I'm like, that's my government name. I messed up. And Clubhouse wouldn't let me change it for like a month until they. Yeah, so when I changed it back. So, but the room came. The funny thing is, I was the originator of the room, and I just talked about no work, no egos, just work. I'm like, man, all these people on Clubhouse have egos, and I told Rothstein, I say, hey, it was him, me, Rothstein, and Chris Pinter, and I say, yo, we need to do a club, where we talking about no egos, and so they started the club, and they kind of just ran with it. Man, and he's been. Since November, we've been doing it. I was really one of the first people who did it, and I kind of gave it to him just because I didn't have the time. I can't do it. But then he changed because he used to do it randomly.
Yeah,
it wasn't like it is now every morning's 8 to 12. It was just at the middle of the day he wanted to do a room. I'm like, man, I'm in a session. I can't do it. So there were times I would literally be in that room and I wouldn't talk for 2 or 3 hours because I'm working. Yeah. So he took a break. He would do one every now and then, but then something happened, I think about 2 months ago, he did one and it was like hundreds of people in there. And I told him, I say, yo, these people need this. You need to do this every day. Yeah. I was like, you need to wake your butt up, do it every day. I'll try to help you as much as I can. And so Rothstein started doing it every day, and slowly but surely the momentum built. And we usually get 200 to 300 people in there every day. Just it's crazy because I tell, and Auntie Jackie likes to repeat, what I say, look, if you don't get what you need from this room, at least one person in a day, you're doing something wrong. Because I find new people in that room, at least minimal one day. There's a inbox or there's some kind of connection. I'm connecting with these people every day, and so it's been, man, Clubhouse has been a blessing to me. When I say I've made a lot of network, I made a lot of money, I made a lot of new friends, new family, new clients. And so Clubhouse, I'm the one who gave Auntie Jackie her name.
Did you?
She likes to tell that story. So when she first came in the room, me and Rothstein was running it, and she was kind of shy and she didn't want to talk. And I was like, she picture up. I say, look at you looking like somebody auntie. I say, matter of fact, I'm gonna call you Auntie Jackie.
Oh.
So everybody on Clubhouse knows her as Auntie Jackie, and she's just the sweetest woman. We've had offline conversations, and I've helped her with some things, and she's linking me. Like next week, she linked me with I got an interview in Atlanta. I'll be in Atlanta working, so she got me an interview out there. So I mean, I love her I've known her as all my life.
And those are the kind of people that you want to be around. And because she was in that clubhouse room, that's why I was there, because of her. Yeah. In that room, I want to second what you said. I'm telling you guys, anybody listen, you got to go to that room if you're in any kind of business and you want to get to the next level. You want to build your networking. I'm telling you, I have got connected to some people that I never could have got connected to had I not been in that room. I wouldn't have been connected to you, Bottz, if I had not got in that room. So the next thing I want to talk about is the pandemic, because you did talk a little bit about how you had to shut down for 4 months, but I talked to a lot of business people, and some people, like you said, didn't have the backbone to endure. And I come by way of public speaking. So I was like one of those people was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And then I was like, wait a minute. No, I'm going to figure this thing out. But some people can't. What do you tell people that just cannot figure it out and want to even, and still to this day, haven't been able just to get back to what they was doing that they love?
Well, it's kind of what I talked about on that one podcast. And I was like, man, you have to be, if you weren't mentally strong, the pandemic either did one or two things, broke you or pushed you. It pushed me, like I said. And so I used to have this kind of opinionated view of people. And my mom used to get on me and she's like, well, son, everybody's not an alpha like you. You are an alpha male. You have the power of influence. People follow you. You express yourself well. You just got it. And she's like, everybody don't. And so you kind of got to sympathize with them, and you just got to encourage them, and try to keep their spirits lifted. I tell people on my podcast, I'm like, man, I haven't had a stressful day in 21 years. And they always wonder, how can you say that? Say, do I have bills? Yeah. Do I have challenges like y'all? Yeah, but stressing is not going to change it.
It won't fix it.
You know what I'm saying? I had a homeboy die at, I think he was 25. And when his mom came back and told us how he died, she said he stressed himself to death. He had aneurysm. And the doctors even saw his stress levels, even in his autopsy, they were hot. And I was like, man, and that was when I was like, I ain't never stressing. Yeah. I don't care what it is. And I done been in some stuff to where I could have lost my mind and this and that, but no, I just refuse to let that emotion, stress shortens your life. It's not healthy. You lose hair, you lose weight, you gain weight. And so I decided 21 years ago, I would never stress. And so people on my podcast, I tell them I've changed so many opinions of just how they view life. And when I say I don't have bad days, I don't. I may have a moment that's literally 10 minutes out of 24 hours that could be bad, but that little tidbit of the day don't make me get on Facebook and say, oh my God, I'm having a bad day. No, I'm not. I had a flat tire. Flat tires happen. I'm not going to lose my mind. I did this analogy on one. It was the mentally challenged. I said, you got two kind of people in the world. One, the first person wakes up in the morning, goes to the garage, see their tires on flat. They panic. Oh my God, I'm going to be late. Oh, this is horrible. The devil is busy. And they get on Facebook and they crying. Y'all pray for me and this and that. I say, then you got person two, goes in there, see their tire on flat, pop the trunk, get the spare on, put the spare on and go to work. Not one, same situation, two different approaches. And then I posed a question, and I said, I want y'all to write these in the comments, because the beautiful thing about Patreon is when you post a podcast, people can comment. It's like Facebook. They can comment, they can use pictures and gifts and all that. And so I said, which person are you? And it was amazing how many people said, I'm person one. Okay. And everyone they went to, I said, you got to change that. Because you can be person two. It's all about your outlook. Choices. But you people argue me down. I say stress is self-inflicted. It's you choose to stress. Choices. Because, like I said, when I go to the mailbox and I got a bill, I don't. Oh Lord, I'm gonna pay the bill, because that's not gonna do nothing. Right. It's not. If I don't have the money, I ain't got the money. I'm gonna figure out a way to get the money. If it's a pink or red notice, hey, we got to get the money fast. You know what I'm saying? Just my mental has become my strongest asset, because I've been through some stuff. I'm a human, if you're human, you're gonna go through issues, but none of the issues will ever break me. You know what I mean? I realized I was called the other day in a room by a woman. She called me a unicorn. Uh-huh. I was like, why do you say that? She's like, because every time I hear you talk, she was just like, you always say like people are gonna need you before you need them, and da da da. I was like, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be unsympathetic or whatever, but it's true. I have life right now figured out. I got my kids, I got my business, I got my gym life, I got my nutrition. I just, you know what I mean? And it's just clicking.
Black Link Magazine, the right magazine, the right purpose. Ask me for details on how to be featured in the magazine, get an interview, or advertise on our website or YouTube page. Black Link Magazine, elevating your business worldwide.
It's crazy because I was just looking at an interview with someone, I can't remember, and it was about mindset, right? And the mindset was that I'm going to not be negative. I'm going to have a good day. I'm going to do the right things, all these good things, right? But the majority of people were negative. The majority, she kind of did what you did. Like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? And say it was 10 people. Well, 8 people were the negative people. Like every time they wake up, it's a problem. Every time I turn the corner, it's a problem, right? It's choice. Right. What are you going to set your mind to do? Are you going to be happy or are you going to be sad?
Right. The will, a person's will is the strongest power on earth.
It is.
Because you can will yourself to do anything. And I'm the kind of person, it's funny, my ex-wife always says, she's like, you have the greatest will I've ever seen. Because I could literally be like, I don't want to eat that anymore. And for the rest, I won't eat it. If I just be like, if I was a smoker and I was on cigarettes, I'm the kind of person who has the willpower to be like, I don't want to smoke no more. And I won't. I just stop.
Right. I'm on Pepsi and I want to stop. It's been 7 days though. My mindset been 7 days. Because it's really,
You know, you got
it's really
sugar-free Pepsi and zero Pepsi, so you can.
If I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it. It's got to be the Pepsi. I'm just not doing it. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's the strongest. It's crazy. The strongest power on this earth is your will.
Yeah. I think so. I believe it. I need to come to your podcast. These are the things that I talk about here, because making people better, helping people to realize that you can be better, but nobody can do it for you. Right.
Yeah. I did a podcast last week called How Do You Spell Success? And I talked about 3 traits that you never see successful people possess. 1 is laziness, 2 was excuses, and 3 was focus.
I like it.
Yeah, and I went in on that, and that was a real good one. Like I can see how many people listen to them. So that's how you get your ratings on Patreon, how many of your subscribers interact with you.
Right.
So I see, and I had I think an 88 percentile of my subscribers. Yeah, they like that one.
Well, you got it going on. That's good. That's real good. People struggle to get 5-10 people. It's the way that you present things. I think it's your presentation.
Yeah.
What's going on with Bottz currently? What you got coming up? What's going on with you?
Man, I have started this thing called the Cookout. And the Cookout is literally taking off like crazy. I did my very first inaugural one in Atlanta in February. I did one last month in LA. And next month, I'm doing one in New York City. Whoa. What the Cookout is, in this industry, I've watched a lot of independent artists get on these big stages and get in these big rooms, and they get intimidated. They don't feel safe. They feel boxed in. So what I wanted to do, I had the vision to create a space and an opportunity for these independent artists, no matter what they did, whether they do poetry, whether they do photography, whatever they do.
Right.
I created a space for them to come feel free. And we've had singers, we've had writers, we've had rappers, we've had poets, we've had A&Rs, we've had record execs. They've all come to the Cookout. When I pick a studio, it is studio based. So I pick a studio and I have a team of people that go with me. The team consists of rappers, writers, execs, my assistants, other producers, and we take the team to them. We show them, one, this is how you create records. This is how you do records. Because a lot of independent artists just go and do what they know and what they know is wrong. There's structure to writing a song. There's a certain way you need to produce. So we teach them that. Not only that, it helps build their network. In LA, I had it for 3 days. And in 3 days, I had 97 people come through. 97 people. If you go look on my Instagram, I did the snapshots and the little videos I didn't do it justice. It was crazy. When I say I was able to just at one point get in the middle of because I had 2 studio rooms, I had a lounge, I had a kitchen, and I had a hanging room. So I was able to just sit back and look and observe like my vision coming to pass. And it was so many people just reaching out to new people. Hey, how do you do this? Hey, when did you do this? And it was the networking and the creativity. I have an inbox full of testimonials. And one dude, I'll give you an example. There was one guy who I don't even know. I met him on Instagram and he registered for the Cookout in LA. He came to LA and he was just standing there. Now it was some writers in there working on a song. And so he was just standing there, but I heard him singing under his breath and he was kind of singing something. And so I looked at him like, you kind of want to contribute to this? You got something for this? And he was like, yeah, I hear something. It's like, go in there. Well, I know they were working. I say, bro, go in there. This is my stuff. You go, you do what I say. Right. I don't give you no slack. And there's no egos. We talked about it. So he goes in there. I go back to my room and I'm working. I come back like 20 minutes later. He's in the booth singing on the song. And so I'm like, that's what the Cookout represents. And he sent the most heartfelt message afterwards. I almost cried. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. He was just like the greatest experience of my life. I was so inspired. I was so rejuvenated. I had almost given up on music. And I said this was like my last thing I want to try before I just quit. And he's like, you instilled, re-energized me. I want to work on my app. So that's what the Cookout is. And so I am committed to taking the Cookout across the world. I know we can't go across the world yet, but I have, like I said, I did Atlanta, I did LA. Next month, I'm doing New York City. In August, I'm doing Miami. In October, we're doing the DMV area. We're going to be based in Washington. And then we're going to take a break for the holidays, November, December, and in January, we're cranking back up in Dallas. So
you need to come to Oklahoma. There's talent in Oklahoma.
Dallas. You're just going to have to hit that road for them a couple hours and come to Dallas. It ain't nothing popping in Oklahoma. I got to go where the synergy is, So
Oklahoma, there's talent here.
I know it is. My stepdaughter went to Cameron. She went to Cameron in Lawton.
Yeah.
And so up there she played basketball. And so we went up there. So I've been up there. I've hit that 8-hour drive a couple times. Usually do the third Friday and Saturday. But because it's my birthday month and I want to celebrate it during the Cookout, it's gonna be the 26th, 27th, 28th. I'm telling you now. It's gonna be that Wednesday, that Thursday, and that Friday.
Like it'll be worth it if you want to take your craft to the next level. And
It's
with
definitely
the experience that you have, that's somebody they want to listen to, right?
But it's not only me. Like I have some great people that are on the team. Like I have some writers. I have Raheem Devon's artist, Brendolyn. I have Jay Kane, who's with RCA Records. He's an A&R. He's signed to Mace's record label. I have Brittany J out of Atlanta. I have Luan Easton out of South Bend. I have a team, and these people are dope. Like they are dope. They're some of the dopest people I've ever met.
So tell me really quick before we get out of here, what's the first day? The first day, whenever people show up, what's happening in the studio?
Well, the first day, this is what we do. I talk to my label mates and I say, well, who's looking for a new song? And they may say, hey, Chris Brown's looking for a song. Justin Timberlake's looking for a song. Summer Walker's looking for a song. Well, Thursday, all the writers, all those who pay their money come in and they're working on songs for them. So you actually have an opportunity to get a placement on a major record. It could be your first time writing and you could say 3 lines and you got your name. And so you could say, if the song goes to Chris Brown, hey, I wrote a Chris Brown song.
But what if they're talent and looking for help with their talent? Like, what do you do for talent?
Friday is the artist slots because we have artists who buy slots. Okay. When you buy a slot, you have the team working with you. You have a custom production from me. I do a beat for you, either on site or something you can pick. Okay. And kind of develop you a song. You have a 4-hour slot. And from that, like you got vocal coaches. If you're a singer, you got other rappers in there that are experienced to tell you how to do your delivery, how to do your cadence. We're going to create you a hit record on spot.
Bottz, I'm bringing my son. I'm going to come. I don't know about nobody else, but I'm going to register. I'm going to stay in touch with you.
Okay.
So I could get him in and let him have that experience. What'll happen.
It changes lives. And so it's only going to get bigger and better. So by the time we come to Dallas, it's crazy.
I believe it. All right. Well, thank you, Bottz, so much for coming to Black Link Magazine. I can't wait to get you featured in the magazine. Go ahead, Bottz, and tell them how they can reach you if they need to reach you.
You can reach me on mostly Instagram, Bottz World Studios, Bottz World Studios. That's one page. My podcast page is Thinking Outside D Bottz. Thinking with no G, Bottz with a Z. And the Cookout page is D Cookout with 3 underscores. People say, why you got 3 underscores? I say, because every time we hashtag it, we put the city we're in. So the blank is for the city we're going to be in. So we come into a near you. So it's kind of creative. Twitter is the same thing, Bottz World Studios. Facebook, we have a business page, Bottz World Studios, and my personal page, Davion Bottz. I don't do a lot of business stuff on there. I may tell a joke or two, I post my kids, stuff like that. But that's how you can reach me. And anything else, my link in my bio, which is my business card, you can click that on IG and you can get everything you need from me.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here on a Saturday, speaking with us. And it's unfortunate, people in Oklahoma, you're going to have to go out of town.
Yeah, because y'all don't have good barbecue, man. Y'all let me down. Kenneth Sims or Sims, Billy Sims, whatever that barbecue place.
Billy Sims.
Yeah, I was like, man, come to Texas. I'm gonna show you some barbecue.
Yeah, that's what we had to do. We had to come to Texas. But
Come on,
anyway, I appreciate you so much. And I
thank you.
hope you will.
I'm grateful for it. Thank you.
Yeah, God bless you and thank you. You guys, we're going to get out of here for now. Remember to respect yourself and respect each other. Go look Bottz up, check him out. Go to Patreon, check him out. It'll be worth your time. So you guys, until next time, we are out.